as voted by you on my community tab, I'm going to show you how I would go about painting a White Scars Space Marine up to a battle ready standard. Now, I don't have a lot of experience painting white. It's a colour I normally avoid painting as the dominant colour in a colour scheme. Later in the video I'm going to show you why it's not one of my favourite colours, why it can be tricky, how to get around it, what I've learned from the experience, what I'll do differently next time when I was painting white. So let's get straight into it. I started off with a undercoat of grey cere, which is kind of like a grey, a very cold grey, and then I began layering with Trooper White from 2 thin coats. This is quite a thin paint, so it's going to take more than 2 coats, ironically, but just be patient. Don't be tempted to slap it on really thickly because it will show up, especially it being white. This colour is an off-white. The reason I've gone for that is because I want to then highlight it with a pure white, whereas if I went for a pure white straight away, like a pure white spray, I wouldn't have anywhere to go with the highlights when I want to show you how to take things to parade standard later. So just remember to do like 4 or 5 thin coats of this colour. Make sure it's nice and smooth and even, and just keep the paint moving. Don't clog up any details. Make sure you get all of the armour panels with this colour. This is probably the moment where I realised that I've made my first mistake, because if I was going to paint a whole army, like I know Space Marines are an elite army, but it's going to take a very long time having to undercoat them all with grey cere and then doing 5-6 layers of this paint. I mean, maybe I have to do some more investigation on different paint brands for this off-white colour. Now I've done the several layers of the white paint, it's time for another time-intensive section of the paint job. What we're going to do here is get some battle mud wash and get your smallest brush, and you want to run this colour into all of the recesses of the armour. What I learned here, the more accurate and careful you are, the better it's going to work out for you in the future when you go to layer the armour again, because it's a very thin colour, Trooper White. So when I'm trying to layer over some of the mistakes I made when I wasn't as precise as I hoped to be, it took again like another 4 or 5 coats to cover up my mistakes. Although I'm quite happy with the result afterwards, if I had done something like a varnish and then an oil wash using that capillary action, that would have saved me a lot more time. Normally too afraid to use it, but I think in this instance, if I want a nice smooth white armor, I've got to not be afraid and I've got to just go for it. In a future video I'm going to show you painting white armor with the airbrush and some oil washing, so we can get that nice capillary action and we can avoid all of this staining and having to layer over. So once I'd done all that, I started layering all the red details with Sanguine Scarlet. Now this will be the Aquila, and any tribal markings you want to be brave enough to paint onto the armor, I'm not going to do that for this battle ready tutorial. And if you've got the White Scar chapter icons, you'll need to paint that with this color too. I'm going to paint all the black details with Death Reaper. It's one of my favorite colors. This is an off black, so you can shade it down and then highlight it rather than using a pitch black. Now I'm going to paint not only the armor joints, but all the leather this black as well, and the gun casings, just to simplify it a bit, because I couldn't be bothered to get more paints out at this point. After I'd finished pin washing all that armor and making far too many mistakes, I thought, right, make my life a bit easier here and just paint all these black details with this color. What I would recommend is do your best to avoid all the white armor, because trying to cover up black with white, that is not going to be a fun time for anyone. Use a smaller brush, take your time. As usual, all the metallics are going to be in Cerakote Silver. So this is his combat knife here. This is going to be the muzzle and all the metallic details on the gun, the grip of the pistol, or the vents on the backpack. Just be as neat as possible, because this will be hard to cover up with the white. And then all the gold details in Dragon's Gold. So this is going to be the little details on the sheath of his combat knife, the hilt of the combat knife, be the casings in the bolt rifle, and any other decorative elements you're going to pick out with this Dragon's Gold. He's got a little skull on his shoulder pad there. As with the other steps, take your time. You don't want to get it on any of that white armor. Painting the wax of the purity seal with sword hilt burgundy, and then the parchment is going to be painted with Dragon Fang. Now we're going to wash all these details with battle mud mud wash. When I say these details, I mean we're going to wash the gold with battle mud wash, we're going to wash the purity seal with this colour, and we're going to wash the red with this colour as well. So take your time, especially the details that are close to the white, because you don't want to make any more splodges that you're going to have to try and cover up later. I'm not doing a very good job of it here on this Aquila. And then we're going to wash all the other details we haven't washed yet with Oblivion black wash. So this is going to be things like all the metallic areas, and this is also going to be the black areas as well. Everything's going to be washed all over with Oblivion black wash, and that's going to leave a nice effect, going to add some definition. Again, be careful when you get close to those white details. The reason I'm doing all of this now is because I want to avoid, when I get to the stage where I'm layering up the armor again, I just want to make all my mistakes now, so I just have to make my corrections with the white armor in one step. I can do it all in one go. Now the white scars they have a Mongolian theme. I didn't want to give him a Caucasian skin tone because I thought that wouldn't really fit right, and I was a bit too afraid to mix up paints here, but I found a really good color called Argonaut skin, which does have some kind of like yellow undertones, and I thought it was a good color match to get like a Mongolian skin tone. And you let me know what you think in the comments, because I don't want to offend anyone and I want to get better at painting skin tones, and that means all of the skin tones, not just Caucasian skin. And the next task after that was to layer up the white. Now this took a long time, and it took multiple coats to tidy up all this white armor. Some spots were easier to cover up than others. This isn't going to be great for painting a whole army in an efficient manner. I learned a lot from doing this. It kind of got me thinking about how I'm going to paint my combat patrol, my White Scars combat patrol, and I'm probably going to get the airbrush out, do that oil wash to get that nice smooth white, because it is the main feature of the army and you really want to get that right. So after I finished doing all that, I then put a coat of flesh wash over the skin, and it adds a bit of a chestnutty depth to the skin. And in a future video I will layer this up with some highlights of some other colours to really finish it off. And to get battle ready, I think we need that red. I mean, I'm not layering up all of the colours here, I just mainly do the main two colours of the scheme, so it's nice and bright to get a bit more saturation back after the wash. So that means we're going to have to layer up the red with the sanguine scarlet again. Again, get a small brush and very carefully pick out all the raised sections of this Aquila on the chest, and the little gizmo by his ear just to brighten up that red again. It'll look nice from a tabletop distance. This is by no means perfect. If I was going to spend a bit more time on this, I'll probably layer up the armor a bit more in some spots. I'm going to go back to this model at some point and highlight it once I've covered a few more chapters, a few more color schemes. I'm also going to do some tutorials on applying transfers, because you notice I haven't applied any transfers here. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know which tutorial you want to see next, or which video you want to see next. It doesn't have to be a painting tutorial. Maybe you want to see some conversions, some kit bashes. Maybe you want to see more of the projects that I've got going on at the minute. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please share this with your friends, with your family, anyone who you think my videos would be either interesting or helpful to. Any game systems other than Games Workshop you want me to have a look at, just let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.